What do you call Keanu Reeves when he steals a packet of gum? Keanu Thieves. Okay, welcome in. Now, I know that you guys have been asking for this since I uploaded my first vlog, which is, you guessed it, a room tour. What do I have? What equipment do I have? What am I using? Now, keep in mind, I am going to be re-renovating this space in a couple of months' time. When I get some time, some things are going to change, and I thought that I would do like a part 1 and part 2. So like my setup now and then my setup in the future when I do it. So basically I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna like take you through my equipment, what I use, what I have in this space. I'll do like a little bit of a room tour. It's a very tiny room. Imagine a closet, no pun intended, I live in. It's basically, I'm Harry Potter and I live under the stairs. Let's do it. If you want to, come to Hogwarts with me. Okay, so as you're about to see, everything in here it's a very small little workspace. So like I showed you guys kind of what I I just realized that he actually looks like he should be dancing the YMCA. Like I've put some nano leaves in, they're kind of cute, they're in like Tetris style. I obviously have a shelf that has my tag on it. But the one thing that you guys haven't seen is this section of the room. Now this is where a lot of things are set up. So I'll kind of talk you through some things. So in here, we have a whole bunch of like cables, cords, equipment. There's a lot of my VR stuff set up in here. Down here as well, in a storage container, is like all of my sort of boxes for the equipment that I'm using. Here is one camera setup. So this camera is the far camera. Here we have, and this is what everyone is dying to see, the bin cam. So this is literally a camera in the bin set up so that when I use the bin cam, it is authentic in the trash. And then we go over here to cable management hell. So this is all gonna change. So I'm working on putting like a full length table the whole way, and I'm gonna have storage units that is going to have a shelf on top. I have multiple cameras set up. I have 1 and 2, 3 and 4. I also have an Elgato key light that is set up, and then I have some acoustic pads on the back wall to just dampen out sound because this is a very small space and sound travels extremely far. We come to the desk, the desk, which you guys all want to see. This is everything kind of like on, ready to go. I have the 2 monitors, Elgato. So I use most of the Razer Quartz set. I have the Black Widow, I have the Lance head, I also have the Chroma base that lights up for the headset. I also have the headset as well. Then we have the Stream Deck, which is lit up. I only have half of it showing at the moment because the other half I don't want you guys to see. Those are some hidden things that I've got as a secret. So yeah, basically Razer Siren, Chroma base, Black Widow, Lance head, Elgato, PlayStation. Dual monitors. So obviously a lot of the tech that I use in this space, you guys already know the brands that I use. I use Razer, I use Elgato, I have a PlayStation in here, which is Sony. I like to limit myself to the amount of tech that I have in here because I don't want to be too overwhelmed with like what's in here, what I'm using, how many different brands I'm using. I think it creates a much more user-friendly experience for myself, keeping the amount of tech that I use to a bare minimum. As you saw, I only have 1 key light, which is enough to bounce light off the back wall to illuminate the whole room. I have some nano leaves installed now down the bottom of the wall, which illuminates that half, which also creates really nice shadowing. I am going to have an LED strip attached to the roof. I like to keep things super simple, super clean, and super neat. Now, the 2 monitors that I have, as you saw, are quite large and curved. I don't think I would ever go for a 3 monitor setup. I know a lot of streamers swear by it because they can have one that's completely dedicated to chat, they can have one that's completely dedicated to full screen gameplay, and one that's dedicated to like running OBS, their Spotify. I like to be able to manage everything at a very sort of smooth perspective, so stuff that I can see kind of out of my peripheral, but it's not like I don't have to physically move to know what I'm doing in that respect, I think that this works perfectly for me, and I would never go, I don't think I would ever go any bigger than having 2 monitors, especially at the size that I have them. If I do, when I update some stuff, you guys will see that. But like I said, so I'm getting another PC. I will be running a dual PC setup. Now, I don't know squat about PCs. I don't know anything about PCs. I am learning. I have really made it a task for myself this year to immerse myself more in, you know, figuring out stuff about RAM or about CPUs, about literally everything that I can sort of educate myself on when it comes to my PC, so that I am prepared for A, if anything breaks, and B, just questions from when people say to me, hey, what are your PC specs? Or, hey, what are you running at the moment graphics cards wise? So like, I know the basics. I know what CPU I'm using. I know which graphics cards I'm using. I'm using 2070. I have an i9 9900K installed. I'm fairly sure that's the, don't quote me on that. I think that's what it is. But everything else that I use is basically software. Now, software wise, I 100% know my shit around software. I like to stick with OBS. Now, OBS it's clean, it works, and it is so user-friendly. And I know I use that terminology a lot, but when you are somebody who is tech illiterate, having a user-friendly experience is so necessary and needed. It's not funny. So OBS for me is as simple as creating a source, adding in the things to that source, like your camera, your overlay, music, anything like that, and that's as simple as it is. It seems to be one of the cleanest experiences I've ever had with software when it comes to streaming or recording or uploading or being able to do live production. I'm lucky enough that most of the stuff that I do, the live camera switches, the news, the weather, the overlays, are all created by myself and kind of like timed and videoed. So the overlays themselves are videos that I have created that I know the timing for, so that I can then create content when I choose to use those overlays. So it's not as difficult as like relying on sound or relying on a cue, or it's at the touch of a button when I use the Stream Deck. So the Stream Deck really helps me with a lot of things. The Stream Deck allows me to really quickly change buttons, shift, do what I need to do, transition back to like my game screen whenever. It also kind of adds to the comedic value of like, you not seeing me do anything, but yet this thing comes up and it's like, oh my god, new content, right? That's cool. So the Stream Deck's been a big help with that. I also use the Elgato capture card, I think it's the external capture card for my PlayStation when I am playing PlayStation games. I don't like to do split screen or like have it plugged in and use one of the monitors as an actual TV screen. I find that very frustrating because then I'm down a monitor and I can't like have my Spotify up, I can't have Discord up, I can't see what's going on. So I like to use that as a, like, again, something that I can have windowed, and that way then I know that I have like my full peripheral 180 vision that I can use on both monitors. For my mic quality, you guys know that I also use a Razer Siren. Now I use a Razer Siren without the base. I have a Rode arm and I also have a shock mount. So the shock mount itself has a grip that allows me to put the mic in, which kind of holds it and like levels it down, because the problem with the Rode mic when I first got it was the weight of the actual Siren itself is weightless. It feels like nothing. So if you don't have the base attached, there's nothing to weigh the arm down with, because the arm is a hydraulic, it's a hydraulic mech arm, right? There was nothing to weigh that down with, so that was a bit frustrating. I got the shock mount. Mwah, chef's kiss, works perfectly. So like I said, basically this is only a part one. What I'm doing right now is I've made sure that this half of the study is completely done. I don't have to touch this again. I don't have to do anything with it. Now I just have to get extra PowerPoints installed. Then we're going to be creating a space purely for the Elgato green screen to be permanently up, so that I can do skits like the news, the weather, and a few other things that I'm working on. with the shift with the touch of a button, and then I don't have to worry about like constantly getting up to pull the green screen up. I don't have to have the green screen permanently up because I like my backdrop. I'll also be working on a space where it's more sort of convenient to film, so the lighting here isn't necessarily like A+. There are a few things and a few kinks that I have to kind of really rub out. That's what she said. In order to make the experience extremely smooth and clean and like really good quality, crisp filming. Like I said, I'm also thinking about investing in some really good camera tech. So I will be thinking about getting a Canon, I think it's the ESO. I really am above my head when it comes to cameras, but I know that the quality of those is like so beautiful and crisp, and the things that you can do with zooming instantly while you're streaming is pretty cool too. I did just invest in a brand new phone as well for filming, because why not? It's easier, it's convenient, it's tiny to carry with. All I have to do is grab my tiny mic out and I'm good to go. So that is basically it. That's the tech that I use at the moment. Like I said, this is part 1 and 2. If you want to see part 2 of like the actual renovating and like me putting things in, getting some PowerPoints put in, let me know in the comment section for this video and I will be sure to document some of that. If this is not the kind of content that you were expecting or that you want to see on this channel, I don't give a fuck. It's the content that I'm creating and I hope that you guys like it. Like, if you have any suggestions, absolutely feel free to give constructive criticism, but if you just have nothing but complaints, you can go ahead and fuck yourself. All right, that's it. I'm out. Thanks for watching my tech stuff. Thank you very much. All right, goodbye.